The National Intelligence Service reported to the National Assembly that Kim Ju-ae appears to be Kim Jong-un's chosen successor. There's speculation about whether she's truly the daughter of the pig's successor. Let's discuss this today. On February 10th, the National Intelligence Service told the National Assembly that Kim Jong-un's daughter, Kim Ju-ae, is now being considered his successor. This was shared in a closed session of the Intelligence Committee. Kim Ju-ae's presence has continued to be highlighted at recent events such as the Army Foundation Day ceremony and the visit to the Kumsusan Palace of the Sun. There are also indications that she is expressing opinions on certain policies, so it has been determined that she is currently at the stage of being designated as successor. The National Intelligence Service said they will monitor if Kim Ju-ae attends side events at North Korea's 9th Party Congress. The exact date for North Korea's 9th Party Congress hasn't been announced, but it's expected at the end of February. First, let's review Kim Ju-ae's recent activities. Kim Ju-ae started her first public event of the year by joining Kim Jong-un at the Kumsusan Palace of the Sun, where Kim Il-sung and Kim Jong-il's bodies are kept during the 9th Workers' Party Congress. At first, there was speculation that this could be a significant political signal related to the succession issue. Later, reports from the National Intelligence Service confirmed that this was indeed the case. And also, just today, an unusual scene was observed at the North Korean embassy in China. The National Intelligence Service reported to the National Assembly that Kim Ju-ae is essentially being named the successor. Given how much she is being promoted, it appears she has been chosen if Kim Ju-ae is indeed the successor. This is an unusually fast pace in North Korea's power succession history. Kim Ju-ae, born in 2013, is about the age of a first-year middle school student in South Korea. The use of successor designation stage at her age is seen as a strong political signal since Kim Jong-un became successor at 25, which was already considered fast in North Korea. So Kim Ju-ae is advancing even faster than Kim Jong-un. The succession process has started more than 10 years earlier, which suggests that North Korea is not operating in a normal manner. There could be several reasons why North Korea is rushing to establish a succession structure like this, but the most convincing analysis is they are working to establish Kim Ju-ae in people's minds early for a stable 4th-generation succession. North Korea's system could collapse if power is destabilized. The succession process must be carefully prepared, and after gaining control over elites and the military, a brainwashing process ensures public acceptance. However, since Kim Ju-ae is still very young, there may be a calculation that if they don't repeatedly expose her from now on, there is a high possibility of internal backlash when it's time to hand over power. Especially the fact that Kim Ju-ae is a woman is quite a significant variable within North Korea, isn't it? North Korean society is even more conservative than it appears from the outside, and the core of power lies with the military and party organizations. This structure itself operates around men, so in such a society, there is bound to be psychological resistance to a woman becoming the supreme leader. So if North Korea intends to make Kim Ju-ae a leader, they will need to take a long time from now on to develop the perception within the system that a female leader is also possible. Because of this, some analysis suggests revealing the succession structure too early is questionable. There is also another important aspect. In a dictatorship, it is rare worldwide for state power to be inherited by a daughter instead of a son. Of course, there have been cases of female leaders in the past, but that was mostly during monarchies, and even then, only a few times. In a dictatorship, there has never been a case where power was inherited by a daughter. That's why there are always doubts whenever Kim Ju-ae is mentioned as a possible successor. Even if North Korean citizens accept the logic of the Baekdu bloodline, they may still have reservations about the leader's gender, and the military elites could react even more sensitively. Kim Ju-ae's succession depends not just on being Kim Jong-un's daughter, but on how quickly North Korea's military and party organizations accept and compete for loyalty to this structure. Once Kim Ju-ae is clearly established as the successor, North Korea will likely enforce strict control and idolization to prevent backlash. With the first stage already underway, this issue is serious. That makes sense, since North Korea already circulates materials calling Kim Ju-ae a computer genius, and North Korean media often airs dramas with female leaders as main characters. There is ongoing speculation that Kim Ju-ae may receive an official role at the 9th Party Congress. Others believe she might not be the real successor, but a strategic move to hide a son. So far, it has not been officially confirmed how many children Kim Jong-un has, or whether he has a son. North Korea tightly controls information about the Supreme Leader's family, releasing details only when politically necessary. So, if Kim Jong-un does have a son, it's possible that they could first put Kim Ju-ae in the spotlight to get the public used to the idea of a successor, and then suddenly introduce his son at some point, designating him as the real successor. This allows them to manage power succession smoothly and reduce internal shock. North Korea has done this before, secretly hiding the successor and then suddenly revealing them. Kim Jong-un is a prime example. Before Kim Jong-un was officially recognized as the successor, his very existence was not widely known except to a few key intelligence agencies. Not only the outside world, but even North Korean citizens had hardly ever heard the name Kim Jong-un. However, when Kim Jong-il was rumored to have health problems, the succession process accelerated rapidly, and Kim Jong-un quickly underwent idolization and rose to the center of power in a short period of time. Given this precedent, it's reasonable to see Kim Ju-ae's ongoing public appearances as a strategy to suggest the succession is still being arranged. Anyway, what is certain is that North Korea is currently working to establish a succession structure. The problem is, for South Korea, this is where things become even more unsettling. This is because, strangely enough, in North Korea, the period when the succession structure becomes solidified has often been accompanied by military provocations against the South. This is closely connected to the unique way North Korea's regime handles power succession, according to some analyses. When a successor emerges in North Korea, they must secure legitimacy internally, but in North Korea, legitimacy isn't proven through elections or by showing economic achievements, is it? In North Korea, legitimacy mainly comes from the Baekdu bloodline, along with military tension and hardline actions against external enemies. Nothing strengthens internal unity and loyalty competition more than external provocations, as shown by repeated real-world examples. After Kim Jong-il was chosen as the successor around 1964, North Korea attempted to raid the Blue House in 1968 by orchestrating the Kim Shin-jo incident. This incident caused a tremendous shock to South Korean society at the time, and it can be interpreted that North Korea tried to strengthen its regime's unity through military shock as it solidified its succession structure. That year also saw the Pueblo incident. They seized the American reconnaissance ship, displayed their power globally, and portrayed themselves domestically as a strong nation resisting American imperialists. During this period, armed infiltrations continued, causing tensions on the Korean peninsula to rise to extreme levels. This pattern repeated itself even as time went on. As Kim Jong-il's succession solidified, the 1987 bombing of Korean Air Flight 858 was a major terrorist attack on a civilian aircraft that directly instilled fear in South Korean society. North Korea chose such extreme actions even at the risk of international condemnation, likely calculating that external attacks could serve as a tool to strengthen internal unity and loyalty to the regime. The same happened in Kim Jong-un's era. As he quickly became successor, North Korea staged major provocations like the Cheonan sinking and Yeonpyeong Island shelling. Our soldiers died in the Cheonan incident, and civilians were lost during the Yeonpyeong shelling. These events harmed South Korean society and were likely used within North Korea to highlight Kim Jong-un's leadership and decisiveness. Since when a successor appears, it's important to show the military and people that the new leader is as tough and strong as the last. That's why if Kim Ju-ae is also confirmed as the successor, there are expectations that North Korea could repeat a similar pattern. Since Kim Ju-ae is a woman, it may be necessary to show legitimacy even more strongly. Given North Korea's conservative culture and military-focused leadership, they may seek to assert authority and instill fear with even more provocative military actions. Therefore, some experts warn that as Kim Ju-ae's succession structure becomes more solidified, tensions around the Korean peninsula may rise further, and military threats towards South Korea could intensify. If Kim Ju-ae becomes the successor, a violent purge will likely occur in North Korea, as happened during Kim Jong-il and Kim Jong-un's rise to power. Probably in a similar way, Kim Ju-ae might try to solidify her power by eliminating close relatives like Kim Yo-jong. Given this situation, can Kim Ju-ae really become the successor? She hasn't studied abroad like Kim Jong-un, so I'm curious how the Korean Peninsula's situation will develop. I'd also like to hear your thoughts, so please comment. That's the end of the video. Thank you.